जय राधा गोकुल नंद की गौर प्रेमानंद नामय विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्यदेशकारिणे Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
So please everybody bow down, your heads touching the floor. We will chant Premadvani prayers. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinata Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Navadvip Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulasi Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Haribol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories unto the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So now we're going to chant the prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. Please remain seated. You can see the words in Sanskrit on the screens. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daine. Pralada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashipur Vaksha. Shilatanka Nakalaye. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimho. Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha. Bahir Nrsimho Hridaye Nrsimho. Bahir Nrsimho Hridaye Nrsimho. Narasimham Adim Sharanam Prapadye. Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Talita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadvita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Avakara Kamalavai. Kamalavare Nakamadbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hari Jaya Jagadisha Hari Jaya Jagadisha Hari Tavakara Kamalavarena Kamadhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavareta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hari Jaya Jagadisha Jai Bhaktivedanta Manor Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan Ki Bhakta Shrestha Prahlad Maharaj Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to Manor. Thanks for taking part in the Aarti, it was wonderful. So just want to quickly tell you about our important festival that is coming up in the Mandir. Because you know, in Sanatan Dharma we have so many festivals, isn't it? It's the most colorful and more glorious. So on the March 1st, we have a very important festival coming which has been celebrated in the Mandir, and that festival is Gaura Purnima, which is the appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many of you heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You can keep your hands up if you have heard. Few of your hands? Okay. So just for the benefit of everyone, we just want to quickly mention about Gaura Purnima because this is an important festival where everybody is invited to come for the first festival. And here, who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, you know from Dwapara Yuga, you can see over here, Radha and Gokulananda. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhuna vinasaya chaduskritam dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuga yuga. The most famous sloka from Krishna, right? In Mahabharata we used to hear about it. So Krishna says, I come in different incarnations in different yuga. I came in the form of Narsimha avatar, I came in the form of Rama avatar. In Kali Yuga, which avatar did Bhagavan Sri Krishna come? Krishna, it is mentioned in our scriptures. Kalikale Nama Rupa Krishna avatar, which means Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Kali Yuga came in the form of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right? This is the Nama. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the Nama avatar of Krishna. And who has given us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Do you know? Who has given us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Prabhupada. Prabhupada has definitely given us this Mahamantra, but Prabhupada has taken this Mahamantra which was inaugurated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself who came in the avatar of a devotee to show us that in Kali Yuga how to love Krishna. So he is the one, it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is Krishna himself who gave us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, telling us that in Kali Yuga Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Kevalam Kalo Nasti Eva Nasti Eva Nasti Eva Gati Ranyata, which means in Kali Yuga the most easiest way to attain Krishna Prema, the easiest way to attain the love of Krishna is by always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So it is his appearance day. When we are born we say birthday. Right? But when the Lord appears, we say appearance day. Right? When just like the sun appears and disappears, the Lords appear for a very divine purpose in order to give us the easiest method in Kali Yuga. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, and next to him in Nityananda is none other than Balaram. So Krishna and Balaram in Dwapara Yuga again come in the form of devotees called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Nityananda. And in the extreme left you can see in white color dhoti, that is Advaita Acharya, and who is a combination of Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. And it is Advaita Acharya who was sitting by the Ganges and praying to Krishna, Krishna, please come and deliver the fallen souls in this Kali Yuga. Please come and protect all the because people are becoming so materialistic, they've forgotten about spirituality, they've forgotten about bhakti. Please come and deliver. That's what Advaita Acharya was praying by the Ganges, and that is why Krishna came in the form of a devotee called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show us this is how you have to do bhakti in Kali Yuga. Right? By always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And on the extreme left, on the right, second from the right, Gadadhar Pandit, who's none other than Radharani. So Radharani in Dwapar Yuga again comes in the form of a devotee called Gadadhar Pandit. And extremely right, you can see over here, his name is Srivas Pandit, and I'll give you who's the devotee of Lord Narayana who's always holding a veena in his hand. Narad Muni, right? So Narad Muni again taken another incarnation of Srivas Pandit, and he was a great devotee of Chaitanya. So all of them they call Panchatattva. So before we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we always invoke the blessings of the Panchatattva, because when they bless, when they give their blessing, then our Hare Krishna chanting will be successful, right? So it is the appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on this March 1st. There will be tickets given on for that particular event, that is the March 1st, and maybe they could be released online 1 week before. So if you can go to krishnatemple.com, over there the tickets will be sold for the Gauri Purnima, that is the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all the tickets are free. You don't need to spend any money at all, just it is free ticket. All you have to do is just book it online, and then you can come and attend this Gaura Purnima. So it's very important for us, because we come to the Krishna Mandir and we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we should know like why we are chanting, who's given us this Mahamantra, right? And that's why we're just trying to share with you this knowledge that this has been given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is then an incarnation of Krishna. So if you have a doubt, like, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned in any scriptures? The answer is yes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been mentioned in 1,000 names of Vishnu Sahasranamam. So his name is very much mentioned in the scriptures. It is just that we are not aware of it. So what is Krishna's message? Why are we always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra here? Because Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling that in Bhagavad Gita. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatanchascha dridavita. Krishna is saying, my devotees, they're always chanting my Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They're always chanting my name. Satatam, meaning that there is no restriction for chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You can chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra at any time. As soon as you wake up, and while you're walking to your office or walking to your workplace, anywhere, anytime, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra can be chanted. And this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so precious because it is directly coming from the spiritual world. So we are all chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra because Krishna has told us in Bhagavad Gita. A lot of people say, oh well, if you read Bhagavad Gita, you don't get anything, but you have to practice Bhagavad Gita. That's what people say, right? So the best way to practice Bhagavad Gita is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because this is what Krishna is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita, to chant always the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And is Krishna telling any one of us to leave all your work and come behind Krishna and become a sannyasi? No. Krishna is saying, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yujjacha mai arpito mano buddhi mam avaisya samsaya. Krishna is saying, you don't need to leave at all anything. You carry on doing what you're doing. Any work that you're doing, you can continue doing whatever work you're doing. But just remember, always keep thinking about me, because I am your most eternal friend. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Suhridam Sarva Bhutana, which means Krishna is telling, I am your best well-wisher, I am your best friend. So our best friend and a well-wisher is sitting in our heart, but we have forgotten this well-wisher. But how do we once again re-engage with that Supreme Lord who's sitting as a friend in our heart? By always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is basically meant to awaken our love for Krishna, right? So we always, whenever we come to the mandir, we always try to give you one sloka from Bhagavad Gita so that you can take home with you one beautiful sloka. So if you got your smartphones, you can just record as well. So we will just give you one chanting of Hare Krishna, one chanting of sloka from Bhagavad Gita. And Mataji, you were reading the Bhagavad Gita today, so let's do one sloka. Are you ready for that? Yeah? So if you got your smartphones, you can record as well, so that when you go home, you can just remember this sloka and you can chant it. Because in this material world, everybody is praying to Krishna, give me this, give me that. But here in the mandir, we are teaching how to give Krishna how we can serve Krishna, what to give with Krishna. We are always telling Krishna, how can I serve you, right? So just repeat after me this one particular sloka we are giving from Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati tad aham bhaktya upahritam asnami prayatatmana. So the sloka goes this way: Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam asnami prayatatmana. Sri Krishna Bhagavan is telling in Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 9, Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga, verse number 26. Krishna is telling, with lots of love, with bhakti, with love and devotion, if you offer me 4 simple things: just a flower, a fruit, a tulsi leaf, or water. Very simple. Krishna is making it so simple that even the poorest of the poorest can engage in worshipping Krishna. That by offering a flower, a fruit, a leaf, or water, Krishna says, if you do it with love and devotion, I will surely accept it. So we want to give you this message that when you leave the temple, remember this, to always chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra early in the morning and just offer some fruits and flower to Krishna. And when we do that for Krishna, Krishna says, I also reciprocate your feelings. So it is not that when we are offering fruits, Krishna is not giving back to us. So what Krishna is saying is, Ananyas chintayanto ma ye jana paryupashate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogashemam vahamyam. Which means that when you are engaging bhakti towards me, I also reciprocate your feelings. And your yogashemam, your welfare, I will take care. Your family, I will take care. Right? Who can give such a beautiful assurance, isn't it, in today's material world, except a best friend like Bhagavan Sri Krishna? We all know that when Gajendra was in pain, what did she do? Lifted her, just offered a flower to Narayana. Right? Similarly, when Lord Krishna was a small boy, what did the fruit seller, what did she do? She offered some fruits to Krishna. And Krishna gave some grains back to that fruit lady. And later when she opened, she found that all those fruits, all the grains had been changed into diamonds and beautiful ornaments. So like that, Krishna can give us anything. But all that we want from Krishna is, we want to offer pure bhakti. Just want to enjoy, give that bhakti to, practice bhakti and always engage in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So can I ask everyone, if you can keep your hands up in the mood of surrender. So when you're keeping hands, we are saying Krishna Tavasmi, which means Krishna, I am yours. And now do the chanting what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. First, let's invoke the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Gauru Purnima is coming up. Just repeat after me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. And now chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it is a great fortune that we are all assembled here in the mandir and practicing. We have chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We invoke the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So before chanting the Hare Krishna, we always say this: Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasidi Gaura Bhakta. So we are invoking the blessings of the Panchatattva, who will make sure He will give us their blessings that our chanting will become successful in our life. So thank you so much for giving us your attention and also chanting the Bhagavad Gita sloka. This sloka is like planting a seed in your heart. And now once that you have planted seed, now you can always go home and read a sloka from Bhagavad Gita like we given you just now. Just start your life with one sloka, one chanting and one flower. And you can see how Krishna will transform your life. Thank you very much. We are going to be having the Krishna Katha now. Prabhuji is going to give us the beautiful Krishna nectar from Krishna Katha. Very, very important for all of us to listen to Krishna Katha, because Krishna's divine pastimes are so precious that Krishna himself is saying that those who listen to Krishna Katha towards the end of their life, they don't come back here into this material world, they go back directly to Krishna Loka. So it is so auspicious just to hear the Krishna Katha. So please give your attention here. If you can just turn this side, or you can, if you're comfortable, you can stay over there, wherever you are. But please give your ears to listen to the beautiful Krishna Katha. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Did we mention that there is prasadam being served now in the Haveli? So you have a very difficult choice. Very difficult choice. I wouldn't like to be in your position of this choice. You can either go and take prasadam in the Haveli, or you can stay here and listen to Krishna book. and our discussion. It's hard to compete with the opportunity to eat. So we're going to continue reading from Krishna book. Yeah, these are wonderful descriptions of the Lord's activities when he was here on this earth 5,000 years ago. And by hearing these pastimes regularly, then all good fortune arises, and certainly one becomes liberated from this material world. Material world means accepting a material body, which means accepting the conditions of birth, growing old, suffering in old age, accepting all of the various inconveniences of this body with its different illnesses and sicknesses, and finally having to leave everything behind at the time of death. So it's not a great situation, to put it mildly. And by chanting the Lord's holy names, and by being absorbed in thoughts of the Lord, especially through hearing about Him, then one can be freed from all of this. It's a very wonderful opportunity. So we're going to continue in about 5 minutes, because first we're going to offer some prayers so that our chanting, our reading here, can be done in the right mood. So just a few minutes of chanting these prayers in glorification of our spiritual masters, Lord Chaitanya, who is none other than Krishna himself, and the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha Krishna. Om Jnanatimrandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Darati Svaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sagana Ragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayataya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhurojvala Prematya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karana Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudha Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambhode Padambujayate Namah Namo Bhaktivedanta Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Svarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namah Vansha Kalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvise Namah Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Was anybody here yesterday? This time? No? Okay. So yesterday, we just finished chapter 23, which was called Delivering the Wives of the Brahmanas Who Performed Sacrifices. There were some Brahmanas or priests near to where Krishna was living with his family members and his cowherd community. And one day when the boys were out in the forest tending the cows and playing their sports, they became very hungry and they requested Krishna to please, arrange for some lunch, some food. So Krishna says, there are a community of Brahmanas nearby. Brahmanas means teachers, priests, those who are engaged in the study of the Vedas and performing different sacrifices mentioned in the Vedic literatures. So Krishna told his friends, go and ask these Brahmanas to supply us something to eat. But the Brahmanas were having none of it. They were not interested in giving any food to the boys, and neither were they interested in hearing their request. So the boys came back to Krishna very disappointed. And then Krishna said, okay, this time I want you to go and ask their wives. And the Brahmanas' wives were great devotees. They knew who Krishna was. They understood his supreme position, whereas their husbands did not. Their husbands were actually materialistic priests. And their purpose was simply to go to heaven, to enjoy a higher standard of sense gratification. They did not really understand that the purpose of all Vedic study and the purpose of all Vedic religious performances is to realize God, is to realize Krishna, and ultimately to please Him. But their wives, they knew this very well. So as soon as Krishna's friends asked them to supply them some food, immediately they gave so many wonderful preparations for Krishna and his friends to enjoy. And of course, when they came and they brought everything to Krishna, and once Krishna had accepted their offerings and blessed them, they returned to their families. And their husbands then became ashamed because they understood, they realized that our wives are more spiritually exalted than us because they have understood the purpose of all Vedic study and all Vedic ritualistic performance. So because the wives had simple faith, yes, they had strong faith that serving Krishna was the ultimate goal of life. Therefore, they did not care for any kind of obstruction. They immediately surrendered to Krishna's will. Their husbands, however, because they lacked sufficient faith, they lacked credit in devotional service to the Lord, they were not able to surrender to the same degree. Srila Prabhupada finishes this chapter by saying, the Brahmanas, although they had come to know the supremacy of the Lord and were repenting, they were still afraid of King Kamsa because they were too much addicted to fruitive activities. So King Kamsa was ruling this tract of land at that point in time. He was a very much demonic and inimical toward Lord Krishna. He was always seeking an opportunity to kill Krishna. He sent many agents, various demons, to try and finish the Lord. So others were obviously also afraid of him, including these Brahmanas. And why were they afraid? Because they themselves were too addicted to selfish fruitive activities. But their wives were not afraid because of their pure devotional service. So it does not matter that one has great material intelligence or that one knows all kinds of elaborate formularies or ceremonies according to religious rites. What is actually required is a simple understanding and faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that it is the dharma, the duty of every living entity to render loving service unto him. And that is not for Krishna's benefit. He does not need our service. Rather, it is for the benefit of the one who offers loving service. And as we were saying yesterday, that when it comes to transcendental relationship with God, there is no distinction between superior and inferior. God is always God, and He has unlimited servants, yes. But when it comes to the relationship, there is no question of the master overlording the servant. Right? The nice example is Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Yes? What was he doing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Does anybody know? During the 18 days of the war, the wholesale massacre, the relieving of the burden of the earth 5,000 years ago at Kurukshetra. What was Krishna's role? What did he do during that war? Does anyone know? No? He was driving Arjuna's chariot. Who's heard of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita? Yes. Who has not heard of Bhagavad Gita? Okay, so we don't know whether we have heard of it or we haven't. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita, yes, is the conversation between Lord Krishna and his devotee Arjuna. It is the essential Vedic scripture, the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Spoken by God himself, spoken by Krishna himself. If you look at any cover of Bhagavad Gita as it is, especially in our ISKCON society, right, you will see a picture in the front of Krishna driving a chariot. Arjuna is the warrior. He is responsible for fighting in the battle. And he has a very righteous cause. And Krishna is driving his chariot. Krishna has the reins. And Arjuna is telling him where to go. So if someone did not know either Krishna or Arjuna, had never heard of them, didn't know who they were, and were asked to look at the picture and say which of these two personalities is God and which is his servant, who do you think they would name as God? The warrior with the weapons, or the person driving the chariot? Who would an uninformed person say is God? Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. The warrior, right, yeah. It looks like the warrior should be God. His servant is driving the warrior's chariot. Yes? But not in this situation. Not in this situation. Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the cause of all causes, the origin of everything, who has no competitor, no one above him, who is the maintainer of all living entities. He is driving the chariot of his devotee. So this relationship, this spiritual relationship, is not one of slave labor to some demanding master. No, it is a relationship of spiritual love, pure transcendental love. So, we are reading now from chapter 24, and there's another religious function going on, being performed by Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj. And Krishna is observing this particular traditional function. He's having a look at it and he's thinking, what's this for? What's this all about? Yeah, that's quite natural for the children in a community. When they see something interesting going on, the parents are performing different activities and making different arrangements and gathering things together, and everybody's coming together to do something apparently important, then naturally an inquisitive child will say, what's this for? What's this all about? Why are we doing this? Yeah? So Krishna also asked his father, what's this all about? Krishna asked his father. Oh, and just before we read, if anyone has any questions or thoughts, while we're reading, if there are any particular points you hear that seem very interesting or that strike you as very significant, don't be shy to raise them, and we can talk about them. So Krishna asked his father, "My dear father, what is this arrangement going on for a great sacrifice? What is the result of such a sacrifice? And for whom is it meant? How is it performed? Will you kindly let me know? I am very eager to know this procedure, so please explain to me the purpose of this sacrifice." Upon this inquiry, his father, Nanda Maharaj, remained silent, thinking that his young boy would not be able to understand the intricacies of performing the yajna. Does anybody know what this Sanskrit word yajna means? Yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. It's also a name of God, Lord Yajna. So Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Everybody appreciates sacrifice. Not always necessarily the person performing them, but parents appreciate the sacrifices that their children make to study hard, to complete their chores at home. Grateful children appreciate the sacrifices made by their parents to provide them with all kinds of goodies, and enjoyable things and opportunities and family days out, to special places where they can go fast and win prizes. Okay, So unless the parent makes some sacrifice, how are these things possible? Everybody appreciates sacrifice made by another for the benefit of others. Yeah, but the best sacrifice is that which is offered to God. Because God is maintaining everybody. He's supplying everything. Right? The clothes that I'm sitting in, these are coming from God. Everything, all of the ingredients used to create anything in this world are supplied by God. So everything that we have, everything that we depend on, everything that we enjoy, all of it is supplied by God. All of it is God's energy. And so we're very much dependent on God. And in order to awaken this sense of I am maintained by another, I am not independent, I cannot supply all of my own needs, I am absolutely dependent on another being, another power. In order to awaken that consciousness, then one must perform yajna, sacrifice. Basically to remove our selfish, spoiled, entitled mentality. Yes. So sacrifice is meant to allow us to gain realization that I am dependent on God. I live on God's mercy. And therefore I should demonstrate some kind of gratitude. I should show some gratitude. So in the Hare Krishna movement, before we eat anything, first we have to cook. Unless you have a raw diet, but who wants to do that? Right? You have to cook something. Okay? So before we eat, we cook it. And then before we eat the cooked food, we bring it to God. And we say, my Lord, thank you. You've supplied us with so many nice ingredients. Yeah? You've given us intelligence to put it all together and make something really yummy. You've given us the fire and the fuel with which to prepare it. In so many ways, you have given us everything needed to make these preparations. You kindly enjoy this first. Yes? Please, you enjoy it. And Krishna is a person, God is a person. He eats, he enjoys. Otherwise, how is it possible that we eat and enjoy? Everything comes from God. So if we are eating and enjoying, then the source of our eating and enjoying also eats and enjoys. So in this way, we perform a sacrifice. We stop ourselves from just, devouring the whole lot without thinking twice. We pause. And we prepare a special plate and we arrange everything nicely. And we bring it before the spiritual master, yes, who receives our offering on behalf of God. And we say, please accept this. Yes? And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam palam toyam yom me bhakti aparachati taraham bhaktyupahartam ashnami prayatatmana. If you offer me with love and devotion a leaf, just a little leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even some water. But if you offer these simple things with love and devotion, I will accept them. He does not need our vegetable preparation, our basket of fruits, our paneer sabji, our halava, our rasgullas, our shrikant, our puris, our pakoras, our kachoris, our chutneys, our sweet rice, our cakes. Okay, I'll stop. He doesn't need any of these things. What he wants is what we're not giving him to date. What's that? What are we not giving him generally? Our love. Right? He's interested in receiving our love. And love is a verb. Love is an action. So how will you express the fact that you love somebody? You will do something that pleases them. So Krishna says, I eat these kind of things. If you offer them to me with love, I will eat them. I will accept them. So this is yajna, this is sacrifice. We're going to cook something really nice. Yeah, we're going to put it on a special plate. We're going to bring it before the Lord. And we're going to ask Him to please accept it, please eat it. This is sacrifice. And then we're going to wait a few minutes. And then we're going to eat it. That's the amazing thing. Krishna eats it, but it's still there. Then we get to eat it. But something is different. Something is different. It's not ordinary food. Because it has been accepted by Krishna, it is now spiritualized, sanctified. And anybody who eats prasadam, especially for the first time, or the first few times, they always say, in my experience, that food tastes better. It tastes better. What did you do? Well, we offered it to Krishna. He ate it. Now it's spiritual. And now you can appreciate that. Because God is within your own heart. And He controls your tongue. And He gives you intelligence. And He allows you to understand that this is different. Another yajna, very important yajna or sacrifice in the Kali Yuga, is the chanting of God's names. Yeah? So if you love somebody, you may repeat their name a lot. And if they hear you repeating their name, they'll be like very pleased, huh? Oh wow, they right? If you're in a crowd and someone says your name, immediately your ears peak. Huh? Who's talking about me? What are they saying? And if they're saying all nice things about you, yeah? Oh, she's very good at playing the piano. Have you heard her? Oh wow, have you heard her voice? Yeah? She's a wonderful singer. And did you see that painting she did for her, GCSE exam? Did you see it? It was incredible, right? And the kids thinking, wow, yeah, I'm really loving this, yeah? Everybody loves to hear their glories. Everybody loves to hear their glories. So God is also pleased when He hears His devotees talk about Him with love. He's very happy to hear that. Because He's a person. If He didn't like to hear about Himself from His devotees, then what kind of person would He be? We like to hear about ourselves because we come from God. Well, God is also happy to hear about Himself. So one of the greatest yajnas is to talk about God's glories. And this is most simplified in the form of chanting His holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is a great sacrifice. It's called Nama Sankirtana Yajna. And it is the only sacrifice required in this day and age, this Kali Yuga, which began 5,000 years ago. And this personality above my left shoulder, in the center, in the yellow garments, he's Krishna. But he's Krishna coming with a particular purpose and mood. He comes to teach us how to perform this yajna, this sacrifice. So He teaches everybody how to chant Hare Krishna. And in this way, please the Lord. And does anybody know what the result of chanting Hare Krishna ultimately is? There's so many results, but there's one primary, final, ultimate, beautiful result of chanting Hare Krishna. What is it? Because if I'm going to chant this Hare Krishna and you're telling me it's a sacrifice, and if I'm going to take up this sacrifice because it pleases God, and if I please God, then, there's a good chance things will start going my way, well, what's it for? What's the ultimate result? What's the ultimate purpose? Does anyone know? We should know. Huh? Otherwise, if we don't know where we're going, where will you end up? You could end up anywhere. And there are so many places to end up. How many stars are there in the night sky? They're all different planets. There are 14 levels of planetary system within this universe. Yes, from heaven to hell. We are in Martya Loka, in middle planetary system. And beyond this universe, there are many, many more universes just like ours, even bigger. So many places you could end up. But in all of these places where one could end up, one must accept the conditions of accepting a material body that gets sick, that gets old, and that becomes ultimately useless. And you have to die. And when you die, you have to say goodbye to everything that you've collected. All your loved, your dear ones, the people that you love, the things that you love, everything that you have worked hard to gather and protect, you got to say bye-bye to all of it at the time of death. So wherever you take birth in this material world, wherever you end up, by whatever road you take, no destination is happy. No destination is going to give you what you want. What do you want? Someone tell me, what do you want? Broadly speaking, I don't need specific. I want a little Matchbox car, that one I saw yesterday in the supermarket with the, the red paintwork and the black thing. What do we want? What does everybody want? Contentment. But that sounds very neutral. Don't you want something more than contentment? I mean, contentment's good. I'll give you, it's good. It's definitely good. I would take that, contentment. Okay? But I would also, yes, happiness. Okay. So, how long would you like your contentment and your happiness to continue for? Forever. Right? We want to be permanently, continually, forever happy. Yeah? Okay. What are the prospects of finding forever happiness in a place where nothing is forever? What are the chances of getting forever happiness in a place where everything is temporary? 10%? We have some hope? No? 5%?
Stop desiring things.
That's a nice idea, but good luck with that one. Stop desiring things. Have you tried it? Yeah? How's that going for you? No. Neither for anybody else. Because you are a living being. You're part and parcel of Krishna. Desire is part of your nature. It's not possible to stop desire. You can't stop desire. You have to simply transform it. You have to purify it. You have to direct it in the best way. So we want to be happy. That's our desire. We want to be happy forever. But nothing in the material universe lasts forever. Everything is coming and going, appearing and disappearing, being created and destroyed. Again and again and again. If you see that portrait over there just opposite me, yes, it is depicting the spiritual world and the material world. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's like a blue bubble, and Lord Mahavishnu is lying there. And from his body, innumerable universes emanate. Every time he breathes out, innumerable universes manifest. And when he breathes in, they are destroyed. So we are living in a place where there is continual creation and destruction. Things are coming into being, and then they are disintegrating. Constantly, perpetually, everything, take anything, name it. You name it. It comes into being, and it disappears in due course of time. Everything is like that. So we want to be permanently happy in a place where nothing stays. How can you be permanently happy here? We must go to a place where everything is constant, eternal. It does not pass away. It does not morph. It does not disintegrate. It does not decay. We must go to such a place. Where is such a place? Well, outside of that big blue bubble. That's where the place is. Yeah? That big blue bubble encapsulates this universe and countless others like it. You will not get out of here by building a rocket ship. Not possible. You can barely travel any distance within this universe in so-called rocket ship. The only way to get out is to perform yajna, sacrifice. To enter your loving relationship with God, which is eternal, which is natural, which is within you already. It just has to be awoken. So when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, this is a great sacrifice. And when we come together to chant this mantra together, it is the most recommended sacrifice for this age. And the result, I was asking you what the ultimate result is. The ultimate result is that we get to leave this material world, which is always temporary, and we get to enter the spiritual world, which is always eternal. But it's not that we just kind of land there and say, okay, great, now I don't have to take birth again, and I don't have to die. And, okay, this place looks a lot better. Let's see if I can be more successful at accomplishing all of my different plans. And let's see if I can beat all the other people to getting what I want. No. Something else is very different. It's not just that that place is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. It is a place where consciousness is pure and centered on God. In the material world, everybody is envious of everybody else, practically. Envious of God and envious of others. Even envious of one's own soul. We cannot tolerate to see how others are prospering while I am struggling. This is a place of envy. Because each one thinks that I am the center, I am special. But in the spiritual world, that separatist consciousness does not exist. In the spiritual world, everyone knows who is really the center. And they're fine with that. Not only are they fine with it, they wouldn't have it any other way. God is the center, and God is the center of myself also. Because I am a little piece of God, a little part of God. So the spark of the fire, it has the qualities of fire when it's in the fire, when it's close to the fire. Little tiny spark. It has light, it has heat. Yeah? As long as it's near the flame, the main flame. As soon as the little spark falls at a distance from the fire, what happens? It extinguishes, right? No more light, no more heat. So in connection with the center, the little spark is fiery. In the same way, when we are connected to our center, then we feel complete. In a big machine, there are so many moving parts, right? And they all work together. Each has a very important role within the big machine. But if one little screw gets disconnected, and falls on the floor at a distance, then what value does that screw have? Does anybody need it? It's very valuable when it's fulfilling its work as part of the machine. But as soon as it's disconnected, it's just lying on the ground. Doesn't do anything. So our specialness, our importance, and our happiness is secured when we are connected with our center. That means God. God is the center. Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. Everybody's attracted to Krishna because he is naturally all attractive. And he is the self of myself, the soul of my soul. So everybody in the spiritual world is not thinking about, how to get ahead, how to get the most, how to beat the others, how to get to the top of the pile. Nobody's thinking like that. Because they know that I'm not the center. Krishna is the center. So they're thinking how to please Krishna, how to make Krishna happy. And when Krishna is happy, I will naturally be happy. Just like when the hand feeds the body, the whole body, the hand is nourished. The energy that's supplied to the stomach is sent back to the hand. The part is nourished by its relationship with the whole. If the part wants to disconnect from the whole, if the hand wants to be cut off from the body, it won't be a functioning, healthy hand. Only when it's connected to the body is it healthy, is it functioning. So we are little parts of God. When we're connected to God, we're healthy, functioning, happy. So all we have to do is connect to God. This is Bhakti Yoga. How do you do Bhakti Yoga? You chant Hare Krishna. You read all about the Lord from books like this, Krishna. Very simple process. And the proof of the pudding, as George Harrison says in the introduction to this book, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So, when we hear about Krishna, when we chant about Krishna, and when we do the yajna, the sacrifice of chanting Krishna's names, we experience practically, personally, that now I feel connected to my center, to the center. I'm not the center. Krishna is the center. But when I connect with Krishna, I feel whole. Okay. So, that was a little tangent to try and explain the purpose and the importance of yajna, sacrifice. Are there any questions before I read on? Anyone has any question or thought or reflection? It's not required. I'm just offering the opportunity. Okay. So Krishna was asking, what is the purpose of this sacrifice? Upon this inquiry, his father, Nanda Maharaj, remained silent, thinking that his young boy would not be able to understand the intricacies of performing the yajna. Krishna, however, persisted. Right. What age is Krishna at this point? He must be like 6 or 7. Probably 7, actually. So Krishna persisted. He asked, "My dear father, for those who are liberated and saintly, there is no secrecy. They do not think anyone to be a friend, an enemy, or a neutral party, because they are always open to everyone. And even for those who are not so liberal, nothing should be kept secret from the family members and friends, although secrecy may be maintained for persons who are inimical. Right? This is already, what's Krishna saying here? He's saying that don't keep any secrets from me. Tell me what's going on here. Don't think that I can't understand it. Just, tell me openly. You're a saintly person. Yeah, nothing is hidden. Saintly persons don't keep any secrets, right? They have no friends, enemies, neutral parties. And even if one is not so liberal, you never keep secrets from your family members, right? Although you might keep secrets, you might remain coy when you're dealing with an enemy. Maybe. Therefore, you cannot keep any secrets from me. All persons are engaged in fruitive activities. Some know what these activities are, and they know the result. And some execute activities without knowing the purpose or the result. So what does it mean by fruitive activities? Fruitive activities. Any ideas? I'm sorry. In my old age, I'm seriously losing my hearing. Tell me. Okay, fruitive activities. That could be part of it. Fruitive activities essentially means I am acting in order to enjoy the fruit for myself. I'm performing some action because I want to enjoy the result. Yeah? So basically everything that everybody's doing in this world for their own purpose is fruitive activity. I want the fruits. I've cultivated the tree, I've nourished it, and when the fruits come, I want to take them and eat them. So in this world, everybody's practically up to that. Right? Even if we work for someone else, we also want to partake of the results. If we're doing something for our family members and we see that they will benefit, we also want to enjoy in that. So, some people know the result of their activities and others don't. A person who acts with full knowledge gets the full result. One who acts without knowledge does not get such a perfect result. Therefore, please let me know the purpose of the sacrifice you are going to perform. Yeah, because if it's done with proper knowledge, you can get a full result. Think of anything. Anything that one wants to do or attempts to do. If it's done in knowledge of the process, knowledge of the purpose, knowledge of the fruits, then the action itself becomes full, proper. But if you're just guessing, if you're just hoping for the best, stabbing in the dark, hoping it works out, the result is uncertain. Right? Like if I don't have knowledge, if you have gallstones, yeah? And I've read half a textbook on medical surgery, yeah? And I said, I think I remember something about treating this. Let me operate on you. How confident are you in the result? Okay? Because you're thinking about this. Is it true what he's saying? Yeah? How confident are you? But if I show you my degree, my certification, yes, I graduated from this medical school. I've had 10 years or more experience removing gallstones. You're going to be a little more assured, right? Because of the knowledge. Okay. So Krishna is asking, one who acts without knowledge does not get such a perfect result. Therefore, please let me know the purpose of the sacrifice you're going to perform. Is it according to Vedic injunction? Or is it simply a popular ceremony? Kindly let me know in detail about the sacrifice. On hearing this inquiry from Krishna, Maharaj Nanda replied, My dear boy, this ceremonial performance is more or less traditional. Because rainfall is due to the mercy of King Indra, and the clouds are his representatives, and because water is so important for our living, we must show some gratitude to the controller of this rainfall, Maharaj Indra. So Indra is one of the demigods. He's one of the agents of Krishna in this world, and he's specifically responsible for the supply of rain. If it doesn't rain, nothing grows. If nothing grows, nothing lives. Rain is very important. We take it for granted in England because, my God, for the last month and a half it's been raining all the time. But if there was no rain, there would be a different set of problems very quickly. Yeah? This isn't so bad, having a little excessive rainfall for a few months. So Indra is in charge. So this ceremony that Krishna's father was performing, it was to honor King Indra in order that he would be pleased and he would supply a necessary rainfall. We are arranging, therefore, to pacify King Indra because he has very kindly sent us clouds to pour down a sufficient quantity of rain for successful agricultural activities. Water is very important. Without rainfall, we cannot farm or produce grain, and without grain, we cannot live. Therefore, rain is necessary for successful religious ceremonies, economic development, and ultimately liberation. So we should not give up this traditional ceremonial function. If one gives it up, being influenced by lust, greed, or fear, then it does not look very good for him. After hearing this, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the presence of his father and all the elder cowherd men of Vrindavan, spoke in such a way as to make the heavenly king, Indra, very angry. He suggested that they forego the sacrifice. His reasons for discouraging the sacrifice performed to please Indra were twofold. Okay, first, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, there is no need to worship the demigods for any material advancement. All results derived from worshipping the demigods are simply temporary, and only those who are less intelligent are interested in temporary results. So no need to worship demigods to get what you need. Right? They are assisting limbs of the Lord. Yeah? There's no need to separately beg the demigods to supply, because they're under the control of the Supreme. One should simply acknowledge the Supreme and enter into a loving relationship with the Supreme. And all necessities of life will be there automatically. The Father is very attentive to supply all the necessities of the children, especially the dependent, loving children. He does not neglect them. So no need to worship a demigod, just worship the Supreme Father, Krishna. Second, whatever temporary result one derives from worshipping the demigods is actually granted by the permission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is clearly, it's like you need something from some bureaucrat somewhere, yeah? From some government officer, maybe you need him to sign your form. But if he cannot sign it without permission from his boss, then you could also, theoretically, in certain circumstances, just go straight to the boss and get the work done. Okay? It depends. It depends on the channel of accomplishment, right? But if there is such a person who is in charge and who can fulfill your request as easily as anyone else, then why would you go to someone down the chain who's only going to have to go up the chain to get your work done? You can just go straight to the main man. Okay. You're thinking very well about this, right? I can see your mind considering, what he just said is that analogy falls apart. This is good. It's good to consider these things intelligently. Okay. It is clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Mayaiva vihitan hitan. Whatever benefit is supposed to be derived from the demigods is actually bestowed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without the permission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot bestow any benefit upon others. So the demigods have to receive Krishna's permission to give benefits, gifts, supply. But sometimes the demigods become puffed up by the influence of material nature. Although the demigods are servants of the Lord, they're in this material world, and sometimes they become a little bewildered by their own position. Just like, let's say, a prison guard, who becomes a little proud of his power, might potentially abuse that power. He's supposed to serve the warden and the government. But if the prison guard becomes a little intoxicated by the power he has, that's not so good. So the demigods may also become a little proud, a little puffed up, due to their association with this material energy. So sometimes the demigods become puffed up by the influence of material nature, thinking themselves all in all. They forget the supremacy of the personality of Godhead. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated that in this instance, Krishna wanted to make King Indra angry. Krishna's advent was especially meant for the annihilation of the demons and protection of the devotees. Right, so this is why Krishna comes. He comes here to remove the demons and to please the devotees. So King Indra was certainly a devotee. Children, Haribol. King Indra was certainly a devotee, not a demon. But because he was puffed up, Krishna wanted to teach him a lesson. Yeah? If your good son becomes a little bit arrogant, and maybe he's not nice to some of the other siblings or whatever, the responsible parent thinks, all right, I'm going to have to teach him a lesson. He first made Indra angry by stopping the Indra puja. Yes? No ice cream for you. Okay? You've been naughty. You've been arrogant and mean to your siblings. You don't get any cake and ice cream today. Okay? So first of all, Krishna made Indra angry by stopping the Indra puja, the worship of Indra, which had been arranged by the cowherd man in Vrindavan. With this purpose in mind, Krishna began to talk as if he were an atheist, supporting the philosophy of karma mimamsa. Okay. I think I'm going to stop here for today, and when we next pick this up, which will probably be on Tuesday, we're going to hear Krishna's explanation. He spoke in such a way to convince his father and all of the elders in the community that let's just not do this Indra puja. Okay? And the Lord used a very sophisticated philosophical argument to basically convince them that we don't need to do this. Yes? This is pointless. Let's not do it. Rather, let's do something else. So on Tuesday, we're going to hear how Krishna convinced them. He's a very expert speaker and very expert at, convincing anybody of anything. So that'll be interesting to hear what he says. So in 5 minutes, we're having Bhagavad Gita class. Bhagavad Gita is spoken directly by Krishna. So if one wants to know what God says about reality, what does God say about the world? What does God say about the meaning of life? What does God say about the origin of everything? What does God say about himself? Then one must seriously hear Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna. Then one will be immensely benefited. Before we do that, let's chant Hare Krishna, because we were talking about yajna, sacrifice, and we mentioned that in this day and age, the best sacrifice you can do is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So let's do that for 5 minutes. Before we chant Hare Krishna, we chant another mantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivedanta. This refers to the Lord and his associates. Yes, in this picture above me, the Panchatattva, the absolute truth in 5 features. In the spiritual world, there are varieties. And there are a variety of relationships. Everything there is full of variety, not just in this world. In the spiritual world, everything has variety. But that variety is blissful and eternal. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivedanta. So by the grace of these 5 personalities, we're able to properly chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, Sankirtana Yajna means one person makes the chant, and then all others respond with the same mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your turn. Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A little louder. I can't hear you. Great. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, everybody. So now we're going to have Bhagavad Gita class. I'm still waiting for the speaker, and if he doesn't come in the next 60 seconds, I guess I'm going to be giving the class. Okay, so just bear with me. Thanks, buddy. So for the Bhagavad Gita class, it would really be great if we moved to the other side of the room, facing the speaker.
Come here.
So let's begin the Bhagavad Gita class. Today's verse will be chapter 5, text 5. First, we're going to sing one song called Jai Radha Madhava, written by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashto Tarasata Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charan Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashto Tarasata Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki, Shri Navadvip Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Tulasi Devi Ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Janitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories unto the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatadesha Tarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today's verse is 5:5. Forgive me, I have not prepared because I was not expecting to be giving class. But no worry, because we have the purport of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And nothing more is required from us than to hear it and to try and share some of our own realization and to consider it from different angles of vision. Chapter 5 is called Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Let's just establish some context first. So at the beginning of this chapter, Arjuna said to Krishna, "O Krishna, first of all you asked me to renounce work, and then again you recommended work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial, right? Either I give up work in this world, or should I work in this world with devotion? Which is better?" The Blessed Lord said, the renunciation of work, giving up work, and work in devotion, right, keeping work but doing it for the sake of the Supreme, are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of works. Okay, that's good news, because a lot of people would have a hard time if they were told that you must just stop working altogether. So at least we have the chance, we have the outlet, we have the opportunity to work. Yeah, we don't have to stop work, we just have to stop doing certain kinds of work and take up another certain kind of work. Text 3. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. So it appears that one who gives up work altogether is renounced. Well, Krishna says that you don't have to give up work. You don't have to give up work altogether. Yes, you can continue performing work in this world, but if you don't hate the results of your work, nor desire to take the fruits of your work, then you're also renounced. It's not the fact that you're working or not working. What matters is that you're not trying to claim the results of the work for yourself. Such a person, liberated from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. Almighty armed Arjuna. Right, so one is working as a matter of duty, not striving for some result to enjoy oneself. Rather, one knows that the work that I'm performing has been entrusted to me by the Lord, and I'm simply carrying that function out for His pleasure. And whatever the result, that's nothing to do with me, and neither is it for me to enjoy. Just like a teller at the bank may count so much cash, but that teller does not identify with the cash as being one's own. I'm counting all this money, yeah, and I'm getting very excited, right? No, he's not getting very excited because it's not his money. It's just my job to count it, right? So in the same way, we can work in this world performing our duties for the satisfaction of the Supreme without getting disturbed or excited by the bad and the good results of our work. Yeah? We have no vested interest personally in the result. We want the result for Krishna. We'd like a nice result to offer to Him. But we're not planning or plotting how I will, get on that jet and arrive in my 5-star hotel in the Caribbean and sit in my jacuzzi. We're not plotting, not thinking like that. How I will enjoy the results of my hard work. This is work in devotion, karma yoga. Only the ignorant speak of karma yoga and devotional service as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Okay, so we've got two principles here. Working in devotional service and analytical study. They appear to be different. One seems to be working with the body, the senses, striving for some result, and the other seems to be retiring or retreating from that and analyzing the world, picking it apart and breaking it down and saying, ultimately, just like I had a Buddhist friend at university, and I remember one tutorial we all had to come in and present something from our own tradition. So he brought in this flower, a very beautiful flower, and then he kind of demonstrated that actually this flower was not what it appeared to be by slowly pulling it apart. Yeah, the petals, the whorl, the stem. He just tore the thing apart so that it was in bits. No more flower. Yeah, no more beautiful, colorful, fragrant flower. Because it was able to be pulled apart. It was made of constituent parts. And therefore, ultimately, he was trying to show that it wasn't substantial, wasn't everlasting, wasn't real permanently. Yeah? So this is a kind of Sankhya. We are analyzing this world to expose the fact that it is not what it appears to be, which means that it's not permanent. It's temporary. Everything here is temporary. So Sankhya means to study it, to look at it, and to see it for what it is, and not to get involved there, as a result. Whereas one who's working in this world for some result, they appear to be very much involved. So these appear like two different paths, but Krishna says that only the ignorant speak of karma yoga and devotional service as being different from the analytical study of the material world. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. So whether you work in devotion or you dedicate yourself to the analysis of this world, if you apply yourself well to one of these paths, you receive the result of both. How is that? Let's read the purport to find out. Srila Prabhupada's purport says, the aim of the analytical study of the material world is to find the source of existence. The soul of existence, sorry. Yes, and he is the source as well. So that's why you would study. You're looking at something, right, the world, with the aim to understand what is the source, what is the soul, where does it begin? The soul of the material world is Vishnu, or the Supersoul. Devotional service to the Lord entails service to the Supersoul. Right, the Supersoul is everywhere. But with this material eyes, we cannot see him. But he is the source. So one process is to find the root of the tree. And next, to water the root. The real student of Sankhya philosophy finds the root of the material world, Vishnu, and then, in perfect knowledge, engages himself in the service of the Lord. Therefore, in essence, there is no difference between the two, because the aim of both is Vishnu. Those who do not know the ultimate end say that the purposes of Sankhya and Karma Yoga are not the same. But one who is learned knows the unifying aim in these different processes, right? So in Sankhya, in the analytical study of the world, whereby you're kind of retiring or retreating from active involvement, yeah? The purpose is to find the root, the cause, the beginning. And in the other process, which is Karma Yoga, right? Devotional service, the purpose is to act for the root. Okay? So if I retreat from activity in the world and I engage simply in analytical study of the elements, I'm to expose the illusion of this world. My purpose is to discover the real root. The real root is the Supersoul. Okay, and let's say I discover the root. I find the Supersoul, Vishnu, Krishna. Then what? Srila Prabhupada says here, find the root of the tree and next, water the root. Yeah? So we can find the root. Great. What happens? What's next? What is there for me to do now? Because I can't do nothing. I'm a sentient being. I can't just sit and do nothing. I'll become agitated or very bored. I have to be busy. I have to be active. I need some action. So I can either act materially or I can act spiritually. Once I've found the root, once I understand where everything begins, then I can change my action. I can now perform actions for the sake of the root. I can pour water on the root. Previously, I'm trying to get I'm a little branch or little twig of the tree, or a little leaf. Yeah, I'm part of the tree. And I'm trying to get my water by my own independent means. But if I accept water through the root, that is the proper process. A tree is nourished in all its parts when the root is watered. So when we find the root, when we discover that the origin, the essence, the cause of everything is Krishna, then if I act for Krishna, I'm actually acting for my own self-interest. That is my real self-interest. So Sankhya means to find the cause, the beginning. Once I found the beginning, I should perform appropriate activities, spiritual activities. Activities for the sake of the beginning. And in karma yoga, devotional service, that's already what I'm doing. I'm performing activities dedicated to the Supreme. So how are they different? One who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. Because the result of both is the satisfaction of the root, Vishnu. Text 5. One who knows that the position reached by means of renunciation. Sorry. Text 5 was today, yeah. Text 4 was skipped yesterday, so that's why I read it. Text 5, let's chant together. You can see on the screens, yeah? Okay. So, line by line. Yat sankhya prapyate stanam. Everyone? Yat sankhya prapyate stanam. Tad yogair api gamyate. Ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha. Ya pashyati sa pashyati. Yat sankhya prapyate stanam. Tad yogair api gamyate. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. Ya pashyati sa pashyati. Would anybody else like to chant? Yat sankhya prapyate sthanam. Tad yogair api gamyate. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. Ya pashyati sa pashyati. Anyone else? Yat sankhya prapyate sthanam. Tad yogair api gamyate. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. Ya pashyati sa pashyati. Okay, and now we will read the word for word translation. Yat, what? Sankhya, by means of Sankhya philosophy. Prapyate, is achieved. Sthanam, place. Tat, that. Yogai, by devotional service. Api, also. Gamyate, one can attain. Ekam, one. Sankyam, analytical study. Cha, and. Yogam, action in devotion. Cha, and. Ya, one who. Pashyati, sees. Sa, he. Pashyati, actually sees. Translation. Let's see if they line up. One who knows that the position reached by means of renunciation can also be attained by works in devotional service, and who therefore sees that the path of works and the path of renunciation are one, sees things as they are. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai. So I'm just using an earlier edition here. There might be some slight difference in word. Translation: one who knows that the position reached by means of renunciation can also be attained by works in devotional service, and who therefore sees that the path of works and the path of renunciation are one, sees things as they are. So we're talking about the same position. One position is reached by means of renunciation or analytical study. And that same position can be attained by works in devotional service. Yes? And therefore one who sees that both paths are really the same, sees things as they are. So how are they the same? How is this so? What does Srila Prabhupada say? Purport: the real purpose of philosophical research is to find the ultimate goal of life. Right? How many philosophers know this? Some philosophers may not even consider that there is an ultimate goal of life. One of their questions will be, is there an ultimate goal of life? That would be a philosophical question. But the real purpose of philosophical research is to find the ultimate goal of life. Since the ultimate goal of life is self-realization, there is no difference between the conclusions reached by the two processes. Alright, so what is the ultimate goal of life? Srila Prabhupada just said? Good. Alright. You never know what I'm going to ask you, so you better pay attention, okay? And I might even pick somebody out. Yeah? You don't want to be caught. The ultimate goal of life is self-realization. And therefore there's no difference between the conclusions reached by the two processes. By Sankhya, philosophical research, one comes to the conclusion that a living entity is not a part and parcel of the material world, but of the Supreme Spirit whole. Okay? So this is the end result, one of the end results of Sankhya, of analytical research, of not getting involved, but having a good look, taking things apart to see what's really happening. Yeah? By Sankhya philosophical research, one comes to the conclusion that a living entity is not a part and parcel of what? Not a part and parcel of material world. Yeah? Then, what is he a part and parcel of? The Supreme Spirit whole. You're cheating. Is she cheating? Have you got the purport?
Yes.
That's all right. Because you're just reading what I'm reading, so it's good. I'm just joking with you. You're not cheating. Okay? You're following the bona fide process of hearing from an authority. Yes? Which is the only process. Yes? And all other processes are cheating, actually. Yeah, because they arrive at the wrong conclusion. But to hear from a bona fide authority, yeah, of the actual truth, that is the only bona fide process. Okay. So I'm not, the living entity, me, you, all of us, we're not part of this material world. We're part of the Supreme Spirit whole. We're little fragments of spirit. Consequently, the spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world. Right? I have nothing to do with this material world. But I'm so involved in it, so absorbed, so wrapped up in it, and all of the goings on in my life, the lives of those around me, my hopes and dreams for the future, yeah, my lamentations and regrets about the past, I'm so strongly identifying with all of that. Past and future, mostly. Yeah. But I actually have nothing to do with any of it. Because I'm not material, and I'm not a part of this material world. I belong somewhere else. The spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world. His actions must be in some relation with the Supreme. Yes. So if I'm a spirit soul, if I'm part of the complete spirit soul, yeah? If that is my real relationship and identity, then my actions should reflect that. That would be truthful action. That would be appropriate, yeah? Just like if I'm in a relationship, then the activities of the relationship should reflect the person I'm in reflect the relationship with the person I'm in a relationship with. If I'm married to this person, I shouldn't be performing such actions towards some other person who's not my spouse. The relationship is what determines, the actions, and the actions should be performed towards the person that actually is in the relationship. So I have nothing to do with this material world. So why am I performing activities in relationship with this material world? I am a spirit soul, an eternal fragment of Krishna. Krishna says, Mamaivaamsho jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. Manashashtan indriyani prakristane karshati. All the living entities in this material world are my eternal fragmental parts. They're little parts of me. That is who I am. Therefore, what I do should reflect that relationship. Those are chaste activities, loyal activities. I belong to this relationship. So why am I behaving in another kind of relationship that is false? When he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is actually in his constitutional position. So my constitutional position is Jivera Svarupahoy Krishnera Nityadas. Tatasta Shakti, Beda Bed Prakash. I am Krishna, Nityadas, eternal servant of Krishna. I am Tatasta Shakti, Krishna's marginal energy. Which means that as a tiny fragment of spirit, I have the tendency to either associate with the spiritual energy or the material energy, just like the little grains of sand at the beach. Some of the grains of sand are right by the water's edge. And if they're too close to the water, they get swept in and out by the water. Yeah, so much so that they practically behave with the movement of the waves. Just like us. We are fraternizing with this material energy, and we are thinking of ourselves as being a part of matter. But if we can get out, then we can associate with Krishna's spiritual energy. So our constitutional position is para prakriti, spirit, in relationship with the Supreme Spirit. Beda Bed Prakash. We are a manifestation of Krishna, which is simultaneously one with Krishna and different. How are we one with Krishna? We have the same nature. Brahman, spirit, conscious, full of knowledge, full of bliss, eternal. Yeah. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in the 2nd chapter, the Lord describes in so many ways how the soul is indestructible, eternal. So we're one with Krishna in quality, but we are different at the same time because we don't have the same magnitude as Krishna. We are very finite, very tiny. Just like A little nugget of gold that you take from the gold mine. It's a nugget. It's not the whole stock of gold. But it has the same qualities as all the gold in the mine. So we are one with God in quality, but different from God in quantity. Beta Bed Prakash. Yeah. We're His energy. We're chips off the old block, little sparks of the fire. Yes. That is our constitutional position. Constitution means how you're made, how you're built. You can't change it. It's what you are. So my constitutional position is as a tiny fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit, Lord Sri Krishna. And as a tiny fragmental part, I have an eternal relationship with the whole. That relationship is eternal. It can never be taken away. It is a natural relationship. I simply have to act in that relationship. Then all of my activities are spiritual. So when he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is actually in his constitutional position. Krishna consciousness means I'm acting according to how I'm made, how I'm built. In the first process of Sankhya, one has to become detached from matter. And in the devotional yoga process, one has to attach himself to the work of Krishna. So this is very interesting. To be detached from matter does not automatically equal attachment to spirit. Right? Just like if it's really okay, let's make it relevant to this country. It's very wet outside, yeah, and I'm disturbed by the rain. I have no umbrella, I have no waterproof coat, no hat, okay, and then I find some shelter, a roof over my head. I come in. There's a nice fire, yeah. I take my coat off. I hang everything up. I dry off, right? I sit down. I'm no longer disturbed by the fire. By the rain. Okay? I sit in the warmth and the dry. Very good. How long can I remain just sitting there in the warm and dry? Am I going to just sit in that dry room forever? What about the next time it rains? Will I say, I'm never going out in the rain again, I got wet before? Maybe you want to go out in the rain again. Even though it's nice and dry inside, yeah, you become bored. And now I'm not, I was disturbed by the rain before, now I'm bored with the indoors. Yeah? And again, coming back into the rain. Huh? So, one may escape the difficulties of this material world and enter into Krishna's Brahma Jyoti. Right? Krishna's glowing effulgence, like in this picture here. You see so many spiritual planets. Yeah, the golden globes, the real golden globes. So many spiritual planets. And what are they floating in? They're floating in the rays of Krishna's transcendental effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti. One can get out of the material world and go and float in the Brahma Jyoti. But if one is not attached to Krishna, one has to come back here because one gets restless. Yeah? If one doesn't find superior, appropriate activities to perform in the nice, dry indoors, one may think, this was interesting, but there's nothing to do here. I'm going back out into the rain. Yeah? So, it's all very well to say, or to become detached from material activity. But unless one becomes attached to spiritual activity, one will again take shelter of material activity, because you cannot sit on the fence, you cannot remain neutral. You're a living being with senses and desires. So you will be pushed one way or another. Either Maya will dictate to you, engage in material activities, or Krishna will dictate, now you engage in my service. So in the first process of Sankhya, one has to become detached from matter. And in the devotional yoga process, one has to attach himself to the work of Krishna. Factually, both processes are the same, although superficially one process appears to involve detachment and the other process appears to involve attachment. However, detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. One who can see this sees things as they are. So Srila Prabhupada has said something here that forces us to understand more deeply. He says detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. How is that? I just said that detachment from matter is not the same as attachment to Krishna. I contradicted our spiritual master, didn't I? Yes? I contradicted him. I said detachment from matter is not as good as attachment to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada says, actually they're one and the same. How is that? Because real detachment, factual detachment, is attachment to Krishna. It's not possible to be detached unless one is attached to Krishna. Right? The same example. If you don't take shelter in spirit, you'll be forced to take shelter in matter. So you're not actually detached. It's apparent detachment, seeming detachment. So there's a lovely verse in the Bhagavatam, if I can remember how it begins. Anyway, Aruhya Krishna Param Padam Tata Patantyato Nadutu Yushmarangaya. That those whose intelligence is stolen by illusion, those who are avishuddha buddhi, they may think themselves liberated. Right? Their intelligence is impure, and they think themselves liberated. But because they have not taken shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, because they have not taken shelter of Krishna's devotional service, they fall down, patantyadho, they fall down again from their position of so-called liberation. They were never really detached. It was just a temporary respite, temporary reprieve. Yes, so many impersonalists think that they have become liberated from the conditions of the material world. But if they are not taking shelter in active devotional service to Krishna, they again fall down to the material platform. Factual detachment from matter is the same as attachment to Krishna. So if you become attached to Krishna, you will automatically be detached from matter. In order to give up the negative, you have to accept the positive. If you accept the positive, you're immediately on the other side of zero. Yeah? If you go to the positive, that solves your negative problem. Right? But without going to positive, how will you get out of negative? You must go to positive. Therefore, you must take up active service to the Supreme Lord. That is karma yoga, work for the sake of Krishna, dedicating your work and the results of your work to the Lord and His service. So, detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. One who can see this sees things as they are. Okay, I have to stop here, but is there any quick question? Anything that's not clear? Anything that is confusing? Anything that is bewildering? Or anything that we are curious about? How to apply this? What does it mean for me in my life? How do I practically do this? So many questions there could be. Does anybody have anything?
What is service?
Pardon?
What is service?
What is service? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. 9 processes of devotional service, beginning with Shravanam, hearing. So this is service. The fact that we've come to the temple, sat down, and we're hearing discourses about Krishna, this is the first service. The second service, you could say, is Kirtanam, chanting. So when you hear nicely, and that information impresses you, then you will perform the service of saying the same thing, chanting the same thing, telling others the same thing. Someone told you to chant Hare Krishna because that is the way of perfection in this age. And then so you take up chanting Hare Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. And by hearing and chanting, you remember Krishna. Hearing and chanting means to hear about Krishna's name, His form, His qualities, His pastimes. Yes? And then all the other types of services come from hearing and chanting. Right? Worshipping the Lord in the temple, offering prayers, carrying out different services. Ultimately, if one is serious, Krishna will send one a bona fide spiritual master. The spiritual master will say, hey, these are the activities that I want you to perform while you're in this body for the pleasure of the Lord. But the first and most important service is Shravanam, hearing. Yes, is that okay? Any last thing? Yes, Prabhu. How to reflect on our day-to-day activities. Well, it's a good idea to always ask yourself one question. Who am I doing this for? Right? Who is it for? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Who is the beneficiary? Who am I doing it for? Yeah, and before you go to bed at night, you think, what did I do today? Who was it for? And how can I make it better tomorrow? Yeah? And that's why we also need guidance of devotees to help us understand what kind of activities we should be performing or how to engage our present occupation and results in Krishna's service. We need guidance, devotee association to be able to see that. Is that okay? Okay, I'm expected in the Haveli, and I better run before someone gets upset with me. So, Vishal Prabhu, you want to take over? You can chant Hare Krishna for a couple of minutes, if you like. Grantaraj, Sri Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Send program, funeral.
Stand this up. I was just here because I just happened to be here.
So you have to be, yeah.
Stand this up.
Me? Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gauranitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ki Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra, Arati ka Shobha. बहु कोटि चंद्रजीने वदन उज्ज्वला बहु कोटि चंद्रजीने वदन उज्ज्वला गला दे से बना माला कोरे जलमाला गला दे से बना माला कोरे जलमाला शिवा सुख नारदा प्रेमे गदा गादा शिवा सुख नारदा प्रेमे गदा गादा भक्ति विनोदा देखे गोरा रसपदा भक्ति विनोदा देखे गोरा रसपदा शिव जयो जयो गोराचंद्र आरती का शोभा जानवे कातवाने जगमन लोभा नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्यत्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य नित्यानंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य नित्यानंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गोकुलानंद की श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्री गौरानिताई की शीला प्रभुपाद की
Can I request everyone to sit down for 5 minutes? We'll have the nursing prayers for our protection and then we'll have some prasadam. हो गया जी. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralad Lad Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Ilatankhana Kalae. Ito Nasimo Parato Nasimo. Yato Yato Yamitato Nasimo. Mahe Nasimo Hridaye Nasimo. Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade. Avakar Kamal Vare Nakam Adhut Shringar Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Deshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Hare Kamal Vare Nakam Adhut Shringar Lalita श्री नरसिंह भगवान की, प्रहलाद महाराज की, गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि 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 बोल. Thank you very much all for attending the Aarti. Prasadam is now being served outside in the distant room. The next Aarti will be at 9 o'clock and there will be some kirtans from now till 9:30. So people are more than welcome to stay back and attend. Thank you. Hari Bol. And you will be singing. Aap gana. You can sing. आप तो बहुत अच्छा
Are you singing? Please come. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna